Hi again, everyone. Excuse me. Big smiles. Okay, FRQ number 3. Okay, so yeah, you read it. High tide, high tide, low tide, starting from midnight. So this high point is 4 hours later after midnight. And then they do say that, what is it, 0.64 meters above sea level. Then you go 0.14 meters below sea level. That happens at 10 a.m. So that will be expressed as a negative number there, as you see. So how do I get all these other ones? Well, I project out. I think this one's listed. So the red ones are, no, wrong. Um, so 4 p.m. is tide high, said like Yoda. Reversing. That was the joke there. 12 plus 4 is 16. Good math, Mr. Samuelis. And then 10 o'clock is actually 22 hours military time, 2 hours away from midnight again, 22 hours after the previous midnight. Then everything else, you got to take halves, right? So the average of 0.64 and negative 0.14 is 0.25. That's up 0.39 and down 0.39, which is a later answer that we're going to need. And then half of, or the average of 4 and 10, not the average, but in between 4 and 10 hours is 7 hours. So we definitely need these points as well. All right. And then that's actually ones that you're supposed to find. And actually, what I was going to do, sorry, I'm out of order here. I wanted to first show you the answers and the point values. T coordinates, H of T coordinates. So there they are, the ones that they asked for. I added more because we needed it for B and C. I do believe there's a little error here. If another option for, and we'll talk about that later, is right 13, then that would be a negative 13, but I'm jumping the gun there. Can't say gun in a public school. Sorry. Um, and then, okay, so then the next part, letter B, what are my equation values? So A is amplitude. So I have that marked here. So we have to know that this is the halfway point between 0.64 and negative 0.14. All right. And then double check that is 0.39 plus 0.25, 0.64. And then subtracting, do we get negative 0.14? And we do. So that's the A value. The B value is 2 pi over P as in period. So period equals 2 pi over B as in boy, and then you can switch them. We told you that a million times. All right. So the period happens. Well, let's check this cosine kid here. From cosine kid to cosine kid, that's 4 to 16. So 16 minus 4 is 12. It happens within 12 hours, the oscillation of the tide there. All right. So that's 2 pi over 12, which is pi over 6. All right. So how do we get this one right thing? Well, they want it as a sinusoid or a sine graph, not a cosine graph. If it was a cosine graph, then it'd be 4 right. So the way this is expressed, though, is it says t plus c. So then c would have to be negative 4 if it was a cosine graph, but they're making you do a sine. So I did have to go backwards in time, or backwards from 4 a.m. and then find out at 1 a.m. you're at your midline point, which is the start of a sine curve. So C is negative 1 because it's supposed to be minus 1 in here, the way this is labeled there. And then the midline is 0.25. So that's your D value up to 0.25. So you can write that equation now if you wanted. All right, but then they don't really ask you to. They actually ask you some easy questions after that. So between T and I thought I highlighted these. Yeah, between T1 and T2 is F and G. That's these 2 points. It is decreasing, but also positive. And then describe how the rate of change on this interval is. That, of course, is concave down. So the rate of change is decreasing. Remember how to state that. So it's not, you shouldn't say decreasing at a decreasing rate. I guess that could be okay. But you want to really describe the rate of change, which is that second part of that statement, decreasing rate of change. Okay. Anyway, that one's a short, sweet, simple one. There's that quote again. Oh, can't, what am I doing? I'm leaving this in too. Look at the old man not knowing what